Hi everyone, and welcome to a video on how to create a retro Star Wars inspired text effect in Adobe Photoshop. So to get started, we need to get all our resource files first. So from here, we're going to go to DeviantArt and we're going to download FreePack 6000 Photoshop gradients, stars and flares brush set, 8 tileable metal textures. We own the sky, which is this nice space background here. And of course, the Star Wars font, which is called SF Distant Galaxy font family from 1001 fonts. So you can check out the links below where we can download these. And now we're going to go into Photoshop to get started. So once we've got all the resource files downloaded, let's go ahead and create a new document. So create new, and this is going to be a 950 by 550 pixels document with a resolution of 72. And let's go ahead and name this Star Wars effect, like so, and keep everything at the default values and click OK. And now let's go ahead and import our space image to our project. So we can do that by clicking and dragging the image in here like so, and then just sort of resizing this here so that it is fitting our canvas, not too big, and then set that into the middle. Cool. Now we're going to right click on this layer, go to blending options, and we're going to change a few things here. So select color overlay, and we want to set the blend mode to multiply, and the color here we're going to change this to A6 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 like so. Click OK, and this is just going to darken our image a little bit. Next, we want to click on the create new fill or adjustment layer icon at the bottom here and select solid color. And for the color here, we're going to use a new color, which is FCED82, and then click OK. And we want to change the adjustment layers blend mode to multiply with an opacity of 25%. Awesome. Now our background is ready for the text. So let's go ahead and select our text tool here. And we're going to make sure that we've got the Star Wars font SF Distant Galaxy selected. The color is going to be F2ECE6, which is this nice warm white color. And then just click anywhere on the canvas here to create our text. So let's type in Star Wars, like so. And the pixel size we're using here is 200 pixels, like so. Cool. Now over here, we want to go into our character panels here. Let's drag this over here, and we're going to change a few things here. So let's go ahead and make sure that the leading is at 155 pixels, and the tracking, we want to set this at 50, like so. Next, we need to adjust the kerning values. So let's go ahead and select our text tool here. Make sure to click between the two letters, and we can use the character panel here to adjust the kerning. So between S and T, we want to change this to -50, like so. Between the A and R, we want to change this to 50, and the same between the A and R for the bottom two letters as well. Change that to 50, and between the R and S, we want to change this to -50, like so. Cool. Now, once you like how the text looks, we can go ahead and move this back here. And let's go ahead and go to text. And we want to convert our text to a shape, like so. Now you'll see our Star Wars text is now a shape layer. Excellent. Now let's go to the direct selection tool here, and we want to adjust some of these points here. So let's go ahead and zoom in here go to the R, highlight the 2 points here, and just move these in line with the S here, like so. And we want to do the same here. So let's adjust these 2 points so that the R and the S connect, like so. And the same over here, highlight the S so the S and the T connect. And the bottom of the S here, we want to adjust this so that it's in line with the bottom of the W, or the top corner of the W, like so. Cool. Now let's go ahead and zoom out, and we can now move this to the center of our composition, and let's go ahead and duplicate this. So let's right click and duplicate this layer, and let's rename this Star Wars 02. I'm just going to hide the first layer for now. Right click this, go to blending options, and we want to change the opacity to 0, and let's go ahead and duplicate that one and rename this Star Wars 03. Cool. Now let's go back to our original Star Wars layer. Just going to rename this Star Wars 01. Make that visible again by clicking on the eye icon. And now we're going to create some styles. So let's go ahead and right click this, go to blending option, and let's go ahead and add a bevel and emboss with these settings. So make sure it's the style of stroke emboss with a smooth technique with a depth of 100, direction which is up, and with a size of 3. Now I'm just going to move this down here so you can see how this is going to affect our letters. So in fact, let's move this here so you can see how this is affecting our letters on the left here. And now let's change the angle to 120 degrees using global light at 30 degrees, and let's go ahead and change this gloss contour to Gaussian inverse, which is this one here. So I'm just hovering over it so you can see the title of that. So select that, click anti-aliased here, like so, and change the highlight mode to vivid light over here with an opacity of 75%. Multiply with a black color at 75%. Cool. Now let's add a contour. So select contour, check the anti-aliased box, and let's click on the Dropbox menu here. And we want to select rolling slope. So this one over here is rolling slope descending. Click on that. And then we've set that for our contour. Next, we want to add a stroke. So select stroke, and we want the stroke size to be 10 with a position of the center, and the fill type, so blend mode, let's keep it normal, opacity 100%, and the fill type, instead of color, we want to change this to gradient. Now here we're going to import our gradient file. So click on the gradient bar here. And to import our gradient files, we want to go to load, and we want to load 2 specific gradients. So we want to load the dials gradient. So the dials gradient is here. So make sure you load that one, and then click on the load button. And then we also want to load chromes. So select chromes, and then click on the load button here. And once those are loaded up, you'll find them in your presets over here, like so. Cool. Now we want to select golden dial top X11. So let's go ahead and find that one. So it should be one of these. So yep, select that one and then click OK. And now we want to go ahead and click on the gradient box to edit it. Now each of these lighter color stops, we want to select these and want to change the color to something different. So we want to change to E1 CA71, like so, just a little bit darker. I'm going to highlight that, press Ctrl C to copy it, and we're going to paste that exact color for each of the light color stops, like so. So selecting each one and pasting them in. And then once you're done with that, click OK, and you can see how that's affecting our border for our text here. Excellent. Cool. Now we want to add an inner shadow. So select inner shadow over here, like so. And let's make an opacity of 50. Make sure that the color is set to black. And we want to change the angle to 120 using global light, a distance of 0, choke of 0, and a size of 1, like so. Cool. And now we want to add a gradient overlay. So let's go to gradient overlay here, click on the gradient bar, and we're going to create our own custom gradient here. So let's go ahead and select the first color stop, move that to a location of 5%, and want to change the color here to EDE1B1. Create another color stop by clicking at the bottom of the gradient bar here, and the location we want this at 75%, and change this color to ECD98F. Click OK. Add another color stop, and this one's going to be at 88%, and this color is going to be E1CA71. And then the last color stop at 100%, we want to change this color to BE8936. Click OK, and then click OK to apply that. Excellent. And now you'll see that we've got a nice gradient on our text. Cool. Now let's click OK. And now we want to double click or right click on our second Star Wars layer here, Star Wars 2. And we want to apply the following. So let's go to stroke. And we want this stroke to be a size of 10. And the position is going to be the center with a blend mode of overlay. Now let's change the fill type to gradient, like so. And the style, we want to change this style from linear to reflected. And then the angle at 90%. And then over here, we want to change this gradient. And we want to find a particular gradient, so facet 110. So let's go ahead and find that one. So that's 130, 120, and 110. So let's find that, select that, click OK. And from here, we want to now add a gradient overlay. So select gradient overlay, and let's select a blend mode of hard light. And we want to check the reverse box here. And now over for our gradient, we want to use gold dial topped X7. So let's go ahead and find that one. So let's hover over this, see what this is called, X5. And this one's called X7 angled. And this one's called X3. So let's find X7 angled, select that, and then click OK. And from here, we now want to go to pattern overlay, and let's change the settings here. So let's change the blend mode from normal to overlay, and we want to change the pattern here. So let's go to the drop down box, select the icon here, and let's go ahead and load a pattern. So load patterns, and then navigate to where your metal textures are. Select the metal patterns texture here, and then click load. And now we want to find the metal pattern, metal 6512. So let's scroll down here and just hovering over some of these. So that's metal 8, metal 7, metal 6, 5, 12. So this is the one that we want. And then once that's been selected, go back to blending options and want to set the opacity back to 100%. And you can see that being applied to our text here. And then set the fill opacity to 0, just to enhance the effect on our text a little bit. Excellent. Click OK. And we want to do the same to Star Wars 3. So this is our Star Wars 3 layer. Right click, go to blending options. And then again, set the opacity to 100 and the fill opacity to 0. And now let's go ahead and add another style here. So let's go to bevel and emboss. And let's change these settings here. So stroke emboss, change this to smooth with a depth of 100. Make sure it's set to up, size of 3, and an angle of 120, 30 degrees using global light. And we want to change the contour here. So click on the drop down menu here to rings. Let's go ahead and find ring and select that. Check anti-aliased here. And then we want to change the highlight mode to vivid light at 75% and a multiply of 75% as well. Excellent. And now we want to add a contour with these settings here. So checking the anti-aliased box again, and we want to find Cove Deep. So it should be this one here. Select that. And then, so just go back to here, go to contour, make sure the range is at 50%. And now we want to add a stroke. So go to stroke and we want to set that with a size of 10, like so. And position this to center with a blend mode of overlay and a fill type from color to gradient, like so. And we want the style from linear to reflected and an angle here of 5%. And over here in gradient, we want to change this to golden dial top X11. So let's find that. So let's hover over these, golden dial top X11, like so. And then this will add another layer of coloring just to make the effect of our border a little bit more vivid. So let's click OK here to apply that. And then click OK to apply that. Excellent. Now you can see our Star Wars effect is really starting to take shape. Cool. So now let's go ahead and close these over here just to make our layers a little bit neater. Now let's select Star Wars 02, right click and duplicate this. And we're going to rename this Glow, like so. Click OK. And let's go ahead and put this to the top layer here. Right click this and let's go ahead and rasterize layer. In fact, choose rasterize layer style, like so. And we want to change this fill value to 0. So change the fill opacity to 0, like so. Now let's go ahead and apply an outer glow effect. So right click this again, go to blending options. And we want to go to outer glow here. And let's change the options here. So from screen, we want to change this to a linear light with an opacity of 75%. And let's change the color here to E7 BF2A, like so. Click OK to apply that. And let's change the size from 7 to 3 and the quality at 50%, which is fine. And this will add a nice subtle glow to our text. Click OK and let's close that. just to make our layers neat again. Now to add our flares, select the brush tool here, right click on the canvas, and we want to navigate to our stars and flares brush, which we downloaded, and we want to select stars and flares 12, which is this one here, and we want to set the foreground color to EAD994 and click OK. And now from here we want to go ahead and select the brush settings here, and we're going to change some of the settings. So go to Shape Dynamic, and let's change the size jitter to 15%, and let's set all the controls off for now. And from here, once we've done that, we want to go ahead and reduce the brush size. So let's reduce that to a size that we want, and then create a new layer here, rename this flares, change the blend mode from normal to linear light, and then all you have to do from here is start clicking on your flares layer. So make sure that's spelled correctly, flares layer, just around some of the edges here to add some nice cool flares to finalize the effect, like so. You can also adjust the size of the brush just to vary the effect a little bit. And just add one here. Maybe that's a little bit too big. Just change the size a little bit, like so. Awesome! Now you've successfully created a Star Wars retro text effect. So that's it for this tutorial. Have fun creating your own retro Star Wars inspired text effects, and I'll see you next time on Tuts Plus.